Starting with a 1-fall, 15-minute match, and introducing from St. Louis in the left corner, 248 pounds, John Ramirez, and his opponent from Columbus, Ohio, at 295, Dr. Big Bill Miller, the wrestling veterinarian. And here's an animal at ringside that I imagine the doctor would like to work on. Not that you need any work. The general manager of the Chicago Wrestling Club, Mr. Bob Luce.
Well, thank you, Chuck. Thank you for that wonderful comment. And let me say this, that I've never seen Bill Miller
Beal
yeah. in my life.
Oh, man.
That's the first time I ever saw that, Chuck.
Well, he was taken right away.
This match has taken a shocking turn for the worse.
And it's only 30 seconds or so old, huh? Side headline. John Ramirez.
John is a good big man, and that's the kind of guys that Miller really likes. However, I can't say that he liked it at the beginning, but Miller does like him big. Top-notch competitor.
Yes, sir.
You know, Chuck, it reminds me of a story that I heard the other day from a good friend of mine, Chet Kopic. Chet is the general manager of the Chicago Clippers, the amateur boxing group.
Oh.
You know, they have a team in Milwaukee, Denver, so on and so forth, and they compete with these teams, various parts of the country. Chet said that he was interviewed by Bill Gleason of the Sun-Times for a story, and I read the story. Beautiful story. Chet's only 21 years old. And Gleason, who was a great writer, called him the youngest general manager in professional sports. So the other night when I was talking to Chet, Chet said to me, "Bob, did you read the article?" I said, "Yes, I did. It was terrific, and I'm happy for you, Chet." And Chet said, "Well, let me tell you. Gleason asked me if I had any heroes. And I told him yes, Bob Luce, the wrestling promoter, because he says, wait a minute, I've known Bob since 1955 when I was a little guy, and Bob used to give me those magazines that he published, and Brickhouse, who was his dad's best friend, introduced me to him and said, Bob, I want you to take care of this little guy. Now the fella's about 6'4", Chet. But anyway, the point is this. Gleason said he was going to lead off his story with a comment like this because he thought it'd, sort of spice it up. Do you know that my name wasn't even mentioned in the story? And Chet said after he read the story, he called up Gleason. He says, "What happened?" And Gleason said, "Well, I used another lead-in." But I just wanted to point one thing out, Chet. Chuck, that there we had our shot, but we got passed again. Now, as you know, not too many months ago or weeks ago, we had a all-time record house at the amphitheater, the largest crowd that was ever in the amphitheater in the history of the amphitheater, for anything, since 1946. And I don't think they'll ever get that many people in there again. We had over 12,500 people in the amphitheater. Most we've ever had before was 11,300. So you figure it out. Plus, we had a $42,000 house when the prices haven't been raised since 1959. So you figure that out, too.
Right.
See? Now, with all this going for us, you'd think that Gleason would be kind enough to mention, not my name, but maybe just mention us, because I feel like I'm just part of the wrestling business, that's all. But no, they passed us up. They don't want to give us our due in that town. And I just want to say this, that if you're listening, Mr. Gleason or anybody else, of course, Condon has been good to us. Condon gave us, and Mullen of the Sun-Times, of course, he uses the publicity. But I want to say this, that, hey, we're always available to give you some information. Send a man out. Assign a man to the wrestling someday, like you do the Chicago Clippers, and you'll really see something out there. And that's my comment for tonight.
Bob Luce. Well, I'll tell you, here in Indianapolis, we don't have that problem. Newspapers here are very, very kind to us. And look at this. Miller will go spinning this boy off his feet. Take his time here now and set him up, I would imagine. Ramirez from St. Louis. He doesn't want to get back into this action at all. And Miller walks right into a forearm. puts him to the rope and takes him over the back. Look at this. That's good and solid, and I clue you, every bit of that hurt. Up on the shoulders on the airplane spin, and he'll work him away right to the center of the ring. I don't even think he wants to take him down now. He wants to break his back. That's a back breaker. He's not even going to spin him. There it is. There's the bell. That's the back breaker. And Miller has disposed of John Ramirez in 4 minutes, 50 seconds. Pardon me, 4:50. Dr. Big Bill Miller over Ramirez in our opening match on tonight's card. We'll return more championship wrestling for you in just a moment.